Hello, welcome to today's show. Our guest is former State Senator Louis Bertonazzi, who's here in his capacity as president of the Plains Association. Lou, about a week ago, you just did your, is it 33rd annual Plains get-together?
Yes, it is, and I have to straighten out a couple of things. First of all, being president of the Plains Association, I should make clear how I got that. I was the only one who didn't attend the meeting on election night. And and there has never been anyone who's missed one on election night since, so I'm still there. The guy who makes everything happen, who really runs it, who is our MVP, is Joe D'Antonio. He really is the power behind everything, and we're really lucky to have him.
And his jokes at the annual banquet make that event, in my mind.
Yeah. Well, you've been great. We, of course, we now have you as yourself and as a member of the town crier, as an honorary member of the Plains Association. Wow. Over the years, we were very happy that you've taken it upon yourself to come down there. The town crier has seen fit to send a reporter and a photographer to our event. We're grateful, and we want to tell you thank you.
Appreciate that, Lou. Now, for those with short memories,
like me,
the Plains basically ran from where I'd say the bike path goes around Pheno Field. That used to be train tracks.
Those are train tracks across the... Yeah.
From there down towards 109 area, and it was largely Italian-American immigrants.
That's right. Both 109 and Route 16.
And 16.
Right to the town lines of Medway
Holliston and to Medway.
Holliston. That's right.
Predominantly people of Italian descent.
Predominantly, yeah, but not exclusively.
Okay.
Right.
And 33 years ago, a bunch of you got together and said, let's celebrate our heritage.
A guy named July Montana. I don't even know what his real name is. We're big for nicknames.
I remember the year you did everybody's nickname.
Yeah, and he was one of the people that you would least expect to come up with this idea. He came up with it, he ran it, he made it happen, and that's where it came from. It was mostly the people who were older than I who really got it started and kept it going. We supported it, but they were the ones that really made it happen. Then Joe D became the guy that kept it going after that.
Right. Now, I know you have Mass at Sacred Heart.
Yes, yep.
You have a gathering at the Plains Monument at the housing project.
That's right, right on East Main Street across from Oliva's Market.
Oliva's, and you have a speaker there every year.
Yes, we honor those who came before us, those who made us possible as well as the Plains.
During the dinner, you have another speaker, and I know this year was Coach Dagny's.
That's right.
And then you really have the highlight, which is you pick the Plains Man of the Year.
That's right. That's, you know, each year, that's a very big thing. We don't take people who, oftentimes, who have ever been honored in the past. We take people who really reflect the spirit of the people of our fathers and grandfathers who really got things started down there. And so each year when we do select somebody, oftentimes we have tears. We have people who cry. They're really, really proud to have been
and they're left speechless, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So name some of the few recent choices. I can't recall them to mind. So
well, this year, of course, we had George Marino, who has been named. Last year it was Dr. DiGregorio.
Right.
And in years past, it's been people like Ralph Boccaselli and Babe
Oliva.
No. Yes, Babe Oliva.
Babe
I'm
Oliva.
sorry.
Joe Stoico?
Yeah, nobody knows the Oliva name.
Right.
You know, that's what it is.
Joe Stoico?
And Joe Stoico, Al, You're catching me. I'll come up
Okay.
with it
Yourself?
as we go. And myself years ago. Yeah.
Joe D's been named.
No, Joe D cannot be a Man of the Year. He was the one who began that.
So he can't be.
And he was part of the committee. And so being part of the committee, he and Reno Bacci were eliminated from consideration.
But that's a shame because I think he deserves it after all.
He's
this.
our MVP. I gave him.
That's true.
I gave him the MVP trophy years ago. By the way, that was Al Folio that I was trying to
Folio,
There
that's
you go.
right.
See, it would come
just
back.
came up with a little, and Babe for Scotty was one of the others.
Yeah, and the speakers I think are great where
And
they
Tony
talk.
Tessicini.
Yes, the speakers talk about the history of the Plains or their role growing up. There's been some great stories.
Oh yeah, there
hear.
are great stories. You know, when I was a kid, you know, when you're a kid, you always look up to the people who are maybe 7 or 8 years older than you are.
Yeah.
And down the Plains, these were the guys that I grew up looking up to. They were the guys that played on the football team. They were the guys that went off into World War II and came back later, formed the Italian Vets, did so many other things.
Yeah.
And I remember early on how impressed I was when I went to church to that Mass and I saw all these big guys that I remember as a kid come in there as though they were docile little altar boys. They take on a whole different, the day takes on a whole different spirit. They
Yeah.
go back to being 16, 17, and 18 again, and they enjoy each other's company.
What I like about it, though, in the years I've been going, you've had as many as 4 generations
That's right.
of one family attending.
Well, what we're trying to do is to pass on to the kids who don't have an opportunity. My sons come and my grandsons come. They don't have an opportunity to really know what the Plains was like. They get it that day. They hear the stories. A lot of them are goofy. A lot of them are very meaningful. All of them, I think, are pretty sincere.
Yeah. Now, speaking, you mentioned sons. You had a big announcement this year.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. For the very first time, we explained to our members that this coming year, next year, we will allow anybody who chooses to bring a paid guest. They can bring any guest that they choose, whether it's male or female. This group was started along, many years ago,
Yes,
obviously, at a time when all male groups were common.
Right.
And it really, over the years, we talked a number of times about changing it. It never came to fruition. This is it. We're going to change it. There are so many women who would be terrific, by the way, in participating in our program. So I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of the other guys are. So anybody who chooses to bring a guest, those who choose not to don't have to.
Right.
But anybody who chooses may bring a guest, and it may be a female. And if any females want to go, they can call me or Joe D'Antonio or Tony Tessicini or anybody, and we'd be glad to invite them.
You think
wow.
that'll boost attendance?
Well, I imagine it will. I'm hoping it broadens the scope of everything. I mean, there are a lot of women who came from the Plains who have stories that they can tell that we couldn't imagine. We've been in kind of a single track as far as the stories and the exchange of ideas has gone. This is going to broaden it, and I think it will make it even more meaningful.
Oh wow, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great because women have a tendency to have a view that men don't have of any organization, and they
absolutely.
can bring, as you say, stories to the table
Yep.
that men don't know about or can't tell in the same way.
That's right.
And
That's right.
And it will have. My guess is it'll have a different view of the family concepts too. Women have a
Yep.
totally different view of it.
Yeah.
And they can talk about some of the nice meals they cook. Oh man.
We've talked about whether it's sauce or gravy.
Yeah, that's right.
I know Joe D has talked about that.
That's right. That's right. It depends upon what which family it is. It can be either one. In most cases, we call it gravy. But
Right. We've talked about Italian cuisine. We've talked about, let's see, the Italian doctors that serve the town.
yeah,
Growing up before the war, I'm trying to think of everything. Dr. Di Gregorio did a wonderful talk a year or two ago about the people who came over to work in the quarries.
Yes.
And
that's
how
right.
they literally worked their fingers to the bone
Yep.
so that their sons and grandsons and granddaughters would have a better life.
Those are the ones that gave us the opportunity. They worked
Right.
the quarries, the shoe shop, drapers. When I was a student at Tufts, one summer I had a job washing windows, and we had to go through the foundry to go to where we were going to wash the windows. And I had a grandfather who was about 5'2", and I just saw him as a gentle man. Had a limp, had a bad leg. I saw him that day working in the foundry. Now this is the month of July.
In the
with
Draper
heat
foundry.
in the Draper factory, with the hot, shaking hot coals out while everything was steaming around him. He was dirty, didn't complain, and I never knew until that day what kind of work he had to do. Never complained. He was able to provide for us. We were all grateful, but I was a lot more grateful after that day, and I looked at him as being a very big man.
Yep.
Interesting. I was recently at a meeting of Rotary over in Marlboro, and the keynote speaker was talking about heroes, and he said the biggest hero was a father.
That's right.
Because kids grow up and they that's their role model, and it sounds to me like the Plains was a place where every father was a role model to the kids.
That's right. And these weren't polished men. They weren't college graduates or anything like that. Many of them came over from the old country. And it's old countries because there were others there as well. But the fact that they didn't have an education made it all the more important to them that they provide an education for their children. And the fact that they came over with nothing made it all the more important that they provide for their families in general. And they did it. And they did it in an honorable way. They worked hard, and the next generation, especially those who went into World War II, just reflected that very same set of values.
Yes.
And they're the guys that we pattern ourselves after
Right.
and try to live up
It
to.
was a set of values.
That's right.
A core set of values that
Yep.
they brought with them from wherever they came,
Yeah.
and that's what they brought to that area.
And it's funny because when you go to the Milford Town meeting and they talk about spending, they talk about those values. The old world values of you don't spend it till you earn it.
That's right.
You don't get yourself in debt. An honest day's pay for an honest day's work. It's carried over into the generations that have built Milford.
And the other thing that carries over, the fact that in Milford, they have provided well for the education of their children.
Yes.
Yes.
We've got a great school system, we've got great teachers, and as a result, we have a lot of very successful students who come out of here and do very well. As a matter of fact, next year, at the ceremony that we have at the monument, we're going to start something new. In addition to the regular ceremony that takes place, we're going to go in detail about one individual each year who came from the Plains.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to start next year with a Nobel Prize winner, Dr. Joe Murray. We're going to have somebody from his
fantastic.
family there to talk about him, and that will just be something that we'll carry on as we go.
His book alone, detailing how he did the first transplant,
Yeah.
is an amazing book to read.
Yeah.
Because he went through how, as a doctor in the military, doing mostly plastic surgery, he got to the point of looking at ways of helping people by skin grafts to grafting organs. And for those who don't know, he did the first successful organ transplant in the world.
In 1992, I was chairman of the Massachusetts Christopher Columbus Quincentennial Celebration. And instead of erecting a statue of Columbus or something like that, we decided that we would follow the Nobel Peace Prize pattern, because there were more Nobel Prize winners who came from or who worked in Massachusetts, Harvard, Tufts, MIT, everywhere else, than in most other parts of the world. Consequently, each year we honor one person who has the same attributes as the Nobel Prize winners. And that day, that first one in 1992, we had 23 Nobel Prize winners, all from the Massachusetts area.
Wow.
at one point or another in their lives, and Dr. Joe Murray was one of them.
Wow.
Well, the little beep we heard is telling us we got high tech.
Yeah.
Is telling us we're running out of time. But Lou, thanks for stopping by. Hello, we're back. Our guest is Sue Clark, who's the director of the Ruth Ann Bleakney Senior Center in Milford. Hello, Sue.
Welcome.
Hello, Kevin. Thank you.
So, what kind of exciting things are going on at the Senior Center?
Oh, we have all kinds of exciting things.
Great.
We have events, and we have a lot of daily activities. We have fitness classes. We have a social worker on staff that is phenomenal, and she can help our seniors out with any problem that they may have. We have healthy living lunches. We have breakfasts. We have bingo twice a week. We have mahjong.
You have the man cave.
We have a man cave for card games and pool, dominoes, knitting, sewing, book club.
Wow.
mean, we really do have a whole list of activities. But, those are all great, and those keep our seniors busy and entertained. But one thing I want to stress is that we're able to provide services as well. And we can provide transportation services for seniors that don't drive. And again, our social worker is just really a wonderful woman, and she's able to provide lots of services to the seniors that need social services.
So, if I was a senior in Milford, how would I utilize the facility?
Well, you'd come in and you'd tell us what you like to do. You like to play pool? You could go up and play pool. We have a handful of men that are using the room, and they have maybe 3-4 times a week they come in and shoot pool. We have a card game. We have cribbage and whist. We have whist. We don't have bridge. Which one's bridge? Is bridge the one with you need 4 people to play bridge?
That's bridge.
Bridge is the one we just can't seem to get 4 people around the table at the same time.
Who know
for
how to
some
play it. It's
reason.
a
Who know how to
complex
play.
game.
Yeah, it's really difficult to schedule a bridge game. We've just started chess, and we have someone that's there volunteering his time to do instruction. So if you don't know how to play chess, you can learn how to play, and then we have other experienced players, and you can play with them as well. We have a beautiful patio. You can sit out there and read a book. You could eat a meal. You could do a fitness class.
So that
You could help
provide-
us. You could do landscaping. You could
And you
volunteer.
guys-
So there are people that volunteer to come over and do landscaping.
Absolutely.
Like say a Tom Sawyer.
We have people that will come and water plants for us. The senior center is staffed by volunteers. I have very few paid employees. I have many unpaid volunteers.
Oh, that's good.
It's
And
wonderful.
you have great special events. You just had the 9/11 Remembrance.
Yes, it was wonderful.
You had your 10th anniversary of the Senior Center.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say picnic, but it was actually porchetta
It
this
was
year.
a porchetta because
Ooh.
it was a big event. It was our 10th, so we kicked it up a notch. We have volunteers that come in and cook for us. So Bob DeVito and his whole crew came
Really?
in,
Oh, wow.
and they made this unbelievable meal. And we had, I don't know, I'm sure we had over 100 people there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really nice, and we had entertainment, and it's just a really nice place to go and socialize and get out. Everything's affordable. If we're charging anything, it's just to cover the cost.
I like the prom you have every year where the high school students
Yeah, the senior prom.
come and give a senior prom to the seniors.
Right, but they do that.
Right.
All we do is provide the seniors.
Right.
They take care of the whole thing,
The
and they do
seniors
a
attend, you
great.
don't
They
provide,
love it. They absolutely love it, and the kids really interact well with the seniors. They dance with them. They take pictures. It's a prom. It's a really fun
Wow.
event.
Oh, wow, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. So you have shine counselors there. You have all kinds of
Right.
services. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
We do. We're the central headquarters for Shine for the region, for the regional office. And
For
Ed
people who
Roth-
don't know, SHINE is the counseling for people on Medicare or Medicaid.
Right. And his counselors are incredible.
Well,
That's Ed Roth and his
Yeah.
Ed Roth and his crowd.
most
yeah.
people don't realize that when you turn 65 or whatever, you go on Medicare, it's really important to sit down with a Shine counselor to understand what those benefits are.
It's very
It
important.
is complex. I actually, you'll get a laugh out of this. I actually had somebody on the finance committee in a neighboring town say to me, why do seniors complain? After all, Medicare is free. And I'm sitting there going, A is free, not B, C, and D.
Oh, it's very
And the
complicated.
guy goes, what's that? And I'm going, well,
Now
you need
you
to
learn.
go to the counselor.
Yeah, that's
the
why
Shine
they have
counselor."
Shine
It's a
counselor.
very complicated process. And these folks, they'll just walk you right through
Right.
it. And they don't tell you what to do, but they give you options.
They tell you
and
how
make
to do it,
sure
though.
you understand.
Well, they help you get through it.
They help you
really
make
s-
a
make it-
educated choice.
Right, make it navigable.
Right.
And that's probably the most important part, because all of a sudden you're hit with all this stuff.
Right.
And they really they understand it. Makes it easy.
I've got to tell you, those people get a lot of training, and I can't say enough about them because I've seen the books they go through.
They're very smart.
And when
it
you get
comes
hit
to
with
their
this,
benefits.
you know, friends of mine have gotten hit with this, and you're confronted with things like this thick to read through that don't make any sense to anybody. You know, and the Shine counselors in a half an hour can reduce that down to, you need to do one of those, and one of these, and one of these, and one of these.
Makes it really very easy.
They do. They're very good. They're very good at
And you
their
have a
job.
social worker on site too.
We do.
Oh,
She's
that's-
there Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And she knows everything about services. She can set you up with any social service you may need. We take in SMOC applications for fuel assistance. And at tax time, we have AARP come in and they do tax preparation free of charge.
You have the flu clinics there?
Yeah, we're going to have an expo on October 16th. And we're going to have a senior expo and a free flu shot clinic. And we'll have another one on October 20th. So we have VNA that comes in and does blood pressure clinics.
I know you have a lot of classes with the hospital, the
Right.
balance class,
Yeah.
some
At
fitness
night,
classes.
The hospital uses our facility at night. They use it 4 nights a week, and they
Really?
do their own fitness programs out of our facility.
Wow.
They're not for seniors, they're open to the public. And there's a fee associated with it that covers the cost of the instructors, but they have some really good classes. It's just, there's so much going on in the building.
So the facility, so the building has other uses, not just for seniors, so other people,
Right.
other organizations use it.
At night, yes.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember back to when, before the current building, you had what, the 1 or 2 rooms, and was it the old St. Mary's Rectory building?
Yeah, it was on Winter Street.
Winter
That building
Street.
got knocked down.
And wasn't the school committee headquarters in there, and then it became the senior?
You know, Kevin,
Center?
I'm not sure about who was there before the senior
But I
center.
just
The
remember
senior
it
center there
was,
for a long time.
1 or 2 tiny
It was
little
2
rooms.
It was 2 rooms.
And now you have this beautiful facility
Right.
that is just, I
It's
mean,
really, really nice, very
It's a
nice.
beautiful facility. It's one of the nicest in the area.
Yep.
And it's full. We have 2 unfinished rooms. One room I'm trying to finish. I'm hopefully going to town meeting with an article to create a true fitness center, you know, a room
with-
that's dedicated for fitness.
With equipment and that kind of stuff in it.
Yeah, well, just a room that, so when we have a class, we don't have to take down the tables. And then at the end of the class,
Put
put
up
the
the
tables
tables.
back up. You know, a true fitness center and have it done right. So we have an empty room. I say, let's do it.
yeah.
Oh, wow. It should be.
And you've been director for just over a year?
Yeah, yeah. I started last August, so it's been just a year.
Right, time flies.
Are you having fun?
I love it. I really do. I love the seniors. I think it's a good fit for both of us.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's working out really well.
Good. So what things do you have planned in the future besides?
I see a flyer
Yeah,
right-
well, you know what?
right
I brought
there.
a newsletter because I didn't want to, I wanted to just go over a couple of the things that we do have. Monday, October 6th, they're going to Foxwoods. We have a breakfast on Wednesday, October 8th. Medicare open enrollment is October 17th. We have book clubs on Tuesday. It's the 3rd Tuesday of every month, so that would be October 21st. A new thing that we just started is called Let's Do Lunch, and that's where we just have a sign-up sheet, and anybody that wants to go out for lunch will sign up on the sheet, and we'll all meet at a restaurant. So we did it last month. We went to Pins, and there might have been 20 of us, 15 to 20 of us, and it was just nice because we all sat around a table. It wasn't anything formal. On October 23rd, we're going to go to the new Depot Street pub or restaurant, the new one where Crivello's was. Again, we'll have a movie the last Friday of October. And then October 31st, we're going to have Oktoberfest. It's like a little Halloween type party. And this is a new thing that we just came up with. It's going to be a Italian celebration day. And this is going to be sponsored by Whitcomb House. It's going to be a free event. And they're going to come in with entertainment and a buffet lunch. So this should be a fun thing. And again, this one is free, so we should have a lot of people.
And what's the date for that?
This is October 28th. It's going to be from 12 to 2. It'll be lunch and entertainment.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it sounds like
So-
there's always something for somebody.
Right. And these are just the activities. These are the
Right.
fun events.
These are
This isn't-
scheduled activities.
Right.
Right.
And then every day we have fitness classes and all the other, things that, so it.
Pool and card games. and-
Right.
No
right.
poker games.
Knitting, sewing,
No poker games.
painting. We have, you can play.
All right. Well,
You can play. You can play anything you want.
Just
all
no
right.
heavy gambling,
No.
except for bingo.
Except for bingo.
bet- oh,
Bingo
yeah,
twice
bingo.
a week, Wednesday and Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Bingo.
Bingo. Oh, that's an
Big.
important. That's
That's
important.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably everybody comes to bingo.
We have about 100 people.
It's a big
Yeah.
bingo game.
Yeah, and they're really into it. Bingo. And let's not forget the bread. Hannaford's delivers bread every morning, or we pick it up, but they provide us with their day-old bread
Oh, really?
and pastries, and we give it away every
wow.
day, and that's big too.
Big too. I
Big.
would guess. Yeah, big. Everybody wants to come. there and get the
Everybody
donuts.
wants 2 loaves of bread,
Oh, wow.
in a pastry.
Well, if you're living on a fixed income, every little bit helps.
Every bit. Every little bit.
You know what? If you're living on a fixed income, come to the senior center. You will be having a very good time for very little money. So,
And I think people today who have, 401ks or all these financial plans don't really understand that most of today's seniors
Don't have.
didn't have things like
Right.
that. And even when the people who are in their 40s and 50s get there, they're still going to need the services of the senior center, I think.
Well, they need the socialization. It's.
That's right.
Probably more important, in my mind, more important than anything else, is a place where you can associate and have socialization with people your own age. And as you get older, it's harder to get to those people to have that.
And-
So,
And what I find is people with shared experiences
right.
and values, and each generation is different. And when you're sitting around with people in your own age group,
right,
you don't have to explain things.
right.
You know the music, you knew the cars,
But
you
what,
know
Kevin,
everybody.
It's really interesting. We have all different generations of seniors there,
I know.
which makes it really interesting.
Exciting.
Yeah, because we have. I was at a meeting and they referred to them as the freshmen, the sophomores, the juniors, and the true seniors.
Right.
I like that.
And you know what? We really do have those because the baby boomers are coming in, and they're the freshman seniors.
Right, right,
And
yep.
then we have the 80 and 90-year-old seniors. They're the seniors, and they learn from each other.
Oh, absolutely.
They absolutely learn from each other. And the stories are, we have a table set up out in the front lobby with a coffee pot and pastry, and some of the stories that go around that table are real interesting.
Well, the interesting part of it, when you're 10 years old and the 20-year-old is there,
Right.
you're not. That's the old guy. Those are
Right.
but when you're 60 and the guy sitting next to you is 70, now you've been closer to peers
Yeah.
and you can share information. So it's a totally different way to deal with those people. It's really neat.
We're having a good conversation, but the little beep beep we heard tells us we're out of time. Sue, can we get you back for another time?
Absolutely.
Oh, great.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you for having me.